What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Citywide Soul, coming at you with third part review of Saints Row 3 and 4. We've got the new revamped Saints Row coming out August 23rd this year and hoping for it to be a banger, so I figured I'd make a review video on what some of the amazing features that were in the third and the fourth Saints Row and a lot of the things that I was very disenjoyed that they did. Okay, now Saints Row 3 came out back in 2011, still comparing it to the GTA 4, but comparing it to now the updated DLC of GTA 4 with the Ballad of Gay Tony and the Lost in the Dam DLC, which was awesome. But Saints Row 3 now takes place in Steelport, not Stillwater. New location, huge graphics overhaul, and a change in the game. This Saints Row decided that is no longer serious, it's more of just a laugh with some missions, like parachuting out of a helicopter with an assault rifle in the middle of a penthouse party with Power by Kanye West playing in the background. Again, taking seriousness from Saints Row 1 and Saints Row 2 about it being gang banging, all that, and you're hustling to get money. Now, you're just building an empire, taking over the city, but you don't give an F. You're just going out, balls out, hence the weapons, like the big giant purple dildo bat. Now, this might have been the first Saints Row that I was actually old enough to go pre-order, purchase, and pick up. And I remember when it was first coming out in all of the like trailer videos and stuff like that, they were explaining how with your character creation you can wind up making your female character, say, with huge tits, or giving your male character a huge bulge for the penis. And then I just remember how much they were hyping up and just so excited that one of the weapons in this game was a giant purple dildo. And at the time of pre-ordering the game, I was like, you know what? It's Saints Row. I've loved the first. I've loved the second. This third one, it can only be amazing. There can't be anything less amazing than the Saints Row game. Again, love the first, love the second, and then the third came out. Now, before I begin shitting on the game, it did have some cool things that came out with Saints Row 3. There was the character gallery that you could wind up seeing who and where people made characters. They'd save them up there. So if you wanted to, say, choose a character that looked like Shondi, choose a character that looked like Pierce or Johnny Gat, you could wind up just clicking on someone's pre-made character of looking like them and playing with it. That was kind of cool. They also did have different skins for your character. I believe in the background video there, you should see my character coming up in like a bluish kind of skin. I also was able to change the voice, which this was the first Saints Row that had the zombie voice in it. So, I mean, they still had their funny haha kind of thing. But right off the very beginning, I was kind of just like, I don't know if I want this game. I don't know if I like it. Like, again, Saints Row 1 and 2, semi-serious with it being gang banging and trying to do that, whereas this one came out and already I was like, oh, I don't know if this is going to be fun. Saints Row 3 did have some cool features. One of the things was if you're running towards a vehicle, holding the run button, you can tap Y, and instead of walking over to the door, opening it up, throwing the person out, you could just jump right through the windshield, smash them right out, take your car and go. Kind of nice with that. The music in this game too was pretty good. I know in Saints Row 1 I said it was just the best playlist. Saints Row 2, an even better playlist. This one with the Kanye West song, and there's a couple other songs I can't remember off the top of my head that were actually half decent to cruise around to. You kind of get bored of the music because Kanye West is good and all, but like the 50th time of hearing Power come on, it's like, okay, I get it. You got one song by a really famous artist. We don't need to listen to it every 5 minutes. So just Googled it. There was one other kind of big artist being G-Eazy in here, and there are a few other songs that come in that are pretty cool, like Rise of the Valkyrie, You're the Best Around, and Holding Out for a Hero. Again, kind of cool songs, but you listen to them enough times where they just lose that appeal of being a good song. You're just like, eh. Saints Row 3 did have a lot of clothing customizations. You could actually choose a lot more outfits in this game that were like kind of pre-set up, and then you could still get your t-shirt, pants, hats, all that. Even the hairstyles of this game was pretty good. The huge graphic overhaul still kept it animated, didn't try and make it realistic like in how GTA 4 was, but it did make the game look a lot better. A lot of the colors were brighter. There is co-op in this Saints Row, and you heard my review on Saints Row 2 where I just absolutely loved it. This co-op in Saints Row 3 was the same. Again, you can have a buddy jump in, jump out, you can do your mini games, you can do the actual story missions. But even with the co-op going on, it didn't really, the game for me didn't connect. Whereas in Saints Row 2, it just connected a whole lot better. And to me, that's how some games, when you play them, how you just fall in love with them. Like Saints Row 2, it didn't connect to me as in I was ever a gangbanger or shooting people or anything like that. Just the playthrough, the play styles, how it was like, hey, we got to take over this hood. Oh, yeah, let's go do it. You, me, some homies, let's go over there and let's gangbang. This one was just way too over the top. I feel like even though you started and you were high up in the game, it just missed out on so many good aspects that Saints Row 2 had. And I'm assuming in this Saints Row 3, they did remove the drugs and the alcohol that you could purchase from a brown baggers, which did suck because, again, that's what one of the things was that stood Saints Row out from Grand Theft Auto was the ability to go get that. This one's main big controversy, I would say, would be the huge purple dildo bat. And I think when they were making this game, much like how all of the Call of Duties have been the last couple of games since Modern Warfare in 2019, they just released it too early. There wasn't much put into it. It was basically a reskin, upgraded graphics, here's a few new features, and away you go. There was no actual thought into the game. There was, hey, how did people like Saints Row 2? How did people like Saints Row 1? I think when they built this Saints Row, they were just like, if you played Saints Row 2, you'll recognize some of the characters. If you didn't, well, here's a whole new game. And again, they did here's an M rating, but we're going to make it so cartoony and so childlike that when your 5-year-old does play the game, it's not that bad. Other than the purple dildo bat, everything else is kind of just, I don't know, child's play for the most part. The only way to really compare Saints Row 2 with Saints Row 3 is like saying, I have a smart car, I'm going green, but then swapping out the Duracell batteries for a gas engine, smacking a 10-inch lift on it with some big old mud tires and saying, yo, let's go bogging with the boys. And then when someone gets upset that you've got this huge ass lifted smart car, it's like, no, it's a smart car. Come on, it's green. I'm environmentally friendly. Who cares about the gas engine and the huge lift and tires? I'm still, a green car. Like in Saints Row 2, yes, we're gang banging and we're shooting people, and then we're doing the same in Saints Row 3. But in Saints Row 2, you were like rebuilding the Saints Row empire, where in Saints Row 3, you already start off with the empire, and you're like, well, if I've already kind of beat the game and, I'm top dog, why is there really anything for me to play? And like there is gangs in Saints Row 3 that you gotta verse and blah blah blah, but it's just one of those games for me at least when I was playing it where I was just like, are we almost at the end? There was a few cool scenes and a few things that actually captured my attention. But in Saints Row 3, they removed so many of the fun activities that were in Saints Row 2. They kept a few like mayhem, insurance fraud that were kind of brought from Saints Row 1 to 2 to now 3. And it's just like, I get you're adding things on and you're changing it and you're trying to make this game a lot better, but you kind of missed out on the actual game itself. Like if you're playing Grand Theft Auto, you expect to have a created character. You expect to have a whole story that's going to involve you and for there to be a little bit of depth in the game. But when you're playing Saints Row 3, it's just kind of, I think when it came out, it was just trying to be basically a meme of itself. Like first mission, you're robbing a bank, classic, things didn't go according to plan, and now you got to go to plan B, which is you blowing up the top of the vault so the chopper can come in. And then because Josh Burke triggered the police response, Shondi's like, how long until the chopper arrives? Your guy replies back, I don't know, 2 waves of SWAT guys, I guess. Like just right there, kind of, I don't know, just destroys it for me because it's like you're not even trying to be at all serious. It's just like, yeah, we'll just kill, a couple hundred cops, no big deal. We'll steal the safe, we'll get out of here scot-free. We're going to be the only helicopter with a safe attached to it, with the police after us, that will be able to get away scot-free. Don't even worry about it. Then continuing on from that first mission, you get caught by the SWAT team. From there, then they take you to the headquarters of the bad guy, and then he captures you. Now you're tied up in a plane. Magically, you can somehow escape, and then it just kept going on, and it just dragged this game out where I just stopped really caring. Like, you're falling down out of the plane, you're trying to like shoot all the bad guys too that are falling, and then there's debris falling. You gotta rescue Shondi. And then from rescuing Shondi, she's all upset that she doesn't have a parachute, but you do. Then you wind up throwing her, again, without a parachute, further down into this forever falling. Then you go through the plane, destroy it, blow it up, and then still somehow fall down and catch Shondi. Like, I don't know. I know a little bit about physics, and if I jump out of a plane after you, I get that there is a way to slowly catch up, but when you're falling in the air for like 20 minutes, catch someone, then throw them away, then continue to keep falling and get into a plane that's crashing, destroy it, grab the person that's falling, and still be like, nah, we're good, pull my parachute, life's good. That none of that's like realistic whatsoever, not even remotely realistic, not even movie realistic. That's just me. First mission, wreck the game. Like, if this game was a buy, rent, or not even play, I would say definitely rent it, borrow it from a friend, try it out, play maybe the first couple of hours, tell me if you like it. But I almost regret buying this. I mean, I'm glad I bought it, so I knew that it was shit. But other than that, there wasn't really much fun to be had. There was some cool stuff that they added in, like you can hold A to drift your vehicle around. Even with that, didn't even get my drifty boys off. On the upside, you could upgrade your weapon so it could have more ammo, do more damage, do special damage. That was kind of cool. I enjoyed that they had brought this in because there was sometimes in Saints Row 2 when you're using the Uzis and it's just like firing blanks at some of the enemies. It is kind of nice to have the weapon customization, but like, do any of these features really make up for the whole game being just trash? I'd say no. I know, looking at other reviewers like IGN, they gave Saints Row 3 a 7.0 out of 10, and they gave Saints Row 2 a 6.3 out of 10. That blows me away because Saints Row 2 drew me in. It was a good game, it played well, everything jived really nice. Saints Row 3, yeah, it's cool that we had the graphics overhaul, but then everything else with the game isn't even close to Saints Row 2. Like, the amount of customization, yeah, there's more in Saints Row 3. There's slightly different missions compared to Saints Row 2 and Saints Row 3. But Saints Row 2 just took it over because I was drawn into the characters. I enjoyed the familiarity of the first map. I get, it's a new game. Let's give it a new map. Let's change it up so the players aren't bored. It's a whole new game. But even with it being a whole new game and bringing back a lot of Saints Row 2 elements and stuff, it doesn't even explain how they got to this new area. It's just, oh yeah, first you were in Stillwater, now you're in Steelport. What's the big difference? So I'm not going to go into much more about Saints Row 3. I just really didn't enjoy it. Again, I'd give it a 5, maybe a 6 out of 10. There is some cool things with that character gallery. There's some cool things with some of the new upgrades, some of the improvements. Changing your character's skin color to something totally wacky, that's definitely fun. Having the zombie voice, if you've got that on, I definitely recommend subtitles if it's your first playthrough, because the voice is funny for like maybe the first 30 seconds. After that, you don't know what he's saying. It's just gibbly-gook the whole entire time your character's talking. And the other people, like if you're talking to Shondi, she's talking to you all serious, whereas your character is just a mouthful of marbles and somehow she can understand it. So again, I'd give it a 5. Maybe I'll say a 5.5 out of 10 for this. I also didn't realize that I was going to go into like over 10 minutes of me just hating on one game. So I'm going to drop out a part 4 video, so every Saints Row gets its own review video.
You know the deal. Comment, rate, and subscribe. It's your boy, Citywide Soul, checking out. Peace.